welcome Linda Calamares.
Yeah, it's really great. She gave it to me for my birthday. Now I'm giving it back to her. I'm a jazz singer. I've done it for over 50 years. My daughter said, don't use your professional name because it might ruin your reputation as a jazz singer. I will get to that one, baby. Anyway, I've got all 4 daughters here. They all ponied up, and a husband. Yeah, clap for yourselves. And they all ponied up $10 to watch Mother humiliate herself and laugh at you better. And my problem is that why have I been collecting $10 a week from each of them for all these years so I could retire? I want to tell you how I met McCain. My baby. I had a major fall. About a year ago this month, actually October 5th. And I did miss one step in my house. And I crash-a-mondoed, as my grandson would say, onto the floor and pretty much labia, tibia, hip, thigh, labia, the whole thing. It's laying out there. So my husband calls the ambulance, and the ambulance comes, and who is one of the people in the ambulance but my fucking lawn guy? I went down for a snack, and he thought he was getting a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I couldn't believe it. I said to my husband, get me a paper bag for my head. The lawn guy was nice enough to put, well, that doesn't matter. At any rate, I got to the hospital, and I'm screaming because I'm hurting, baby. And the ambulance drive is incredible because the shocks, they don't exist. The only shock is in your own body. They don't strap you down. They hit every pothole, every dip, everything, and you go in there, bang, 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 bang. You get there, and your shock is wearing off from your fall. And your lawn boy. And I get in there, and I'm starting to hurt, and I'm screaming. And I'm screaming really loud. I said, whoa, I'm hurting here, man. I'm hurting. Everybody hear me? I'm hurting, baby. Let's do it. Please, miss, I'm really hurting here. I'm dying. And somebody starts the morphine. I'm feeling real good. And they say, what is your pain level on 1 to 10? I love when they say that. I said 152. Give her some more. Start the morphine drip. Woo-hoo. Like a cocktail party that starts at 2 in the morning and goes until 5 o'clock the next evening. It was wonderful. And I'm starting to feel really good. Nothing's hurting, They take the x-rays. I get to have an emergency surgery because evidently the most important surgeon that night is on duty. They take the x-rays. The surgeon comes in. It's Doogie Howser. I'm not kidding. All the nurses, all the doctors, they look, it's the greatest hookup joint in the world if you're 22. I'm telling you, that's where you should go. Or send your kids. Don't send them to college, just send them there to hang out in the waiting room or something. So the doctor comes over and says, well, and I'm feeling really good, and I'm going to be funny, because I'm feeling, you're not going to get me, baby. So I'm there, lying there, and the doctor says, well, this looks pretty bad. It's going to be extensive. I said, excuse me, sir, I'm going to have to card you. Nevertheless, he says, we're going to have to do some extensive work. First of all, you're going to need a hip implant. Ha ha! I'll take hers! The doctor looks at me like this. One eyebrow. I think he's here tonight. Are you here, Doug? Doogie? No, I went out for a smoke. So at any rate, they wheel me in. They tell me all the stuff I have to have done. They're starting to drip, and they're starting to tell me the countdown. And they said, Doctor, I figure about 10 seconds. God bless Mommy. God bless Daddy. God bless all the kittens in the flower. Did you ever have that point before you wake up that you know you're awake, but you aren't? Hey, I'm sitting there on my bed, I'm propped up, flowers everywhere. And guess who's propped up next to me? Kobe Bryant. And it's so cool, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm still being funny. I said to him like, out of Charles, hey, man, we gotta get a bigger boat. He goes, his shoulders like. We're watching a basketball game, and I'm giving him my thoughts on basketball these days. You know, the court should be longer, and the basket should be higher. You know, you guys like Easter bunnies, 2 hops in your little basket, you know. Well, he said, yeah, that's right, but you know, have you ever seen Hoosiers? Well, yeah. So, I'm lying there, and I'm talking to him, and I'm having a blast, and he is gorgeous. Got a tan suit on. Ooh. And then all of a sudden, a nurse came in and said, we're ready for you, Mr. Bryant. And he got up. It was a good thing. It almost catapulted me off the bed when he did. He got up and he walked over into the bed and he tweaked my toe. And he said, now you get better, honey. Nothing cooler than having Kobe Bryant tweak your toe and say, you get better now, honey. Now, I'm lying in my bed, propped up, watching the basketball game. A nurse comes in. I said, you know who is here? Who is here? Kobe Bryant. She said, yeah, we get that a lot around here. Gave me another shot. I woke up. Crappy room, no flowers, no basketball, shitty bed, bedpan, the whole thing. And then I went to rehab for a month. And this is where I met my buddy. No, and this wasn't a fun rehab, you know. We weren't trying to get off drugs or anything, or booze, you know. We're just trying to walk. And the most fucking depressing thing I've ever seen in my life. I started feeling better about myself right away. I started putting on my makeup. So one day I was sitting there, we were all playing puzzles. I couldn't understand. I thought they wanted to see if our facilities were still working upstairs. And it turned out they just wanted to see if we could stand up for 15 minutes. And so I'm sitting there, and my whole table, it's like 12 women, we're all sitting there. Everybody's depressed, lonely, and broke. And I started saying, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more. All of a sudden, the woman next to me, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no. Well, pretty soon, a woman that could not get out of her wheelchair got up and started singing, now, baby, don't you tell me. So in a way, it was really an eye-opening and really kind of a cool experience. And this is where I met my buddy, graduated from the gurney, to the x-rays, to the surgery, to the wheelchair, to the walker, and to my best friend in the whole world, Loyal, hangs by the door waiting for me. Smile on his face. I said one day to him, a couple weeks ago, I said, baby, I'm sorry, I'm going without you. I got about 4 steps out of the house. I couldn't make it. I came back and got sugar. Sugar starts going. Anyway, it's my sidekick. We're joined at the hip, and that's the way it's going to be. Thank you.